What's up, tricksters and tricksetas, and welcome to another Tier 3 sub VOD review. Today, we have our friend June again. He is an Ascendant 1 Jett main playing on Sunset. Okay, so first let's read, what he has to say to us, and then we're gonna cover everything else. I make a lot of obvious mistakes when I review the VOD, especially in the clutches. I lost a lot of easy rounds and clutches. Looking back, it's easy to know what I should have done, but in the moment, I made lots of bad decisions. I cannot tell if enemy is actually good or lucky with some of these rounds, kind of made me lose confidence in closing out the rounds. If I'm being honest, I have no idea if I'm actually playing well or not. Okay, we're gonna see. We're gonna see everything in the VOD. When it comes to, the problem that you just mentioned, that you cannot make the right decisions, even though you know, what is the right decision at that moment of time, when you review the VODs. That is that situational awareness and adaptiveness that all of the Ascendant and low Immortal players are actually missing in their gameplay. This is something that just gets better over time. Basically, as you're analyzing your VODs, as you're analyzing individual scenarios that you come across in Valorant, essentially, you will slowly start thinking in a specific direction. You will slowly start making better game decisions. What's very important when you're at this skill level is that you're always trying to make the most optimal and the best play for that specific scenario. Take your time. Don't make rushed out. 2 tips. Tip number 1. It is always better to make some kind of a decision rather than not making a single decision at all. But tip number 2, take your time. If enemies are giving you time to think, to analyze the round, to analyze the sequence that you're playing at that moment of time, take some cover and think. Look at the minimap. Ask yourself, where can enemies be? Where can enemies not be at that moment of time? A lot of times, the main problem for players is that they just swing out. Yes, it is better for you to make some kind of a decision rather than not making a single decision at all. But at the same moment of time, take as much time as you need. If the enemies are already giving you that time to think. Now, you will get better, as you do this self-analysis. That's why clip reviews are so important. That's why VOD reviews are so important, that you're memorizing with your picture memory how you should be playing these individual scenarios. You cannot learn everything at once. Some players need more time to learn certain things than others. But that's what's very important is the 2 tips that I gave you at this moment of time. I think the reason I've been doing well is mostly because of comms. Okay. Basically, sure. I mean, that's good. No. If you're winning rounds and matches because of good communication, you're already better than 99% of Valorant players, because in ranked solo queue, basically, nobody speaks anyways. Or people are just playing toxic, play mentally unstable, and that's it. So yeah. Now, I think my biggest problem is trying to execute on the site. It never feels like a clean execute because in general, util and team positioning feels uncoordinated. Listen, first of all, we talked about this multiple times during your VOD reviews. With Jett, things are always kinda set in stone. On every single site, on every single position, you have around 2, 3, 4, 5 executes that you can do. What type of execute you're doing depends what type of enemies you have, what type of teammates you have, depends on the team composition and the map. Basically, you don't have that many decisions with Jett when you're executing bomb sites. For example, on the attacker side, when you're playing Jett, the first thing that you're waiting for are the smokes. In low elo and medium elo, you're in full buy rounds and pistol rounds. You're not willing to go out through the choke point if you don't have at least smokes, proper smokes placed for your teammates. And you should be telling your controllers what type of smoke utility you need. Number two, optional. Number two, thing that you can do is tell your initiators what they need to give you, what type of flash, what type of stun, etc, etc. But generally speaking, in medium elo and low elo, that doesn't matter that much because only God knows what type of utility these guys will be giving you. So, as long as you have the smokes on site, as long as you have one teammate that is crossing the choke point and the guy is ready to go in with you, you can go in. You can make an execute that you want to make at that moment of time. And you just adapt your execute based on what type of utility you have at that moment of time, who is on the B site at that moment or on that specific site, and of course, like, do you need to go for an aggressive or a bit more of a safe execute? With Jett, like what people do a lot of the times wrong is they over-aggress too much. Like your job as a Jett player is not to go onto the bomb site and to get 5 kills. You can do that once in a blue moon. Your job is to take some initial space, survive as much as you can, so that your teammates can use you as a pressure-making tool and as a tool to basically, execute the site. Now, I mean, we need to see all of this, like, in the game, like, we're just speculating right now what type of problems you have, but when you're playing Jett and any agent in Valorant, you should be playing the rounds with a pre-assumption that your teammates are not going to be coordinated. And you're just adapting based on the current level of coordination that your teammates have. And where they're positioning, what they're doing, and what you pre-assume they're going to do. It's always better to play Valorant like that than playing with a pre-assumption that, yeah, my Sova is definitely going to do the best dart ever, my Breach is going to do the best utility ever, etc, etc. Done. Obviously, some mechanics I need to polish up. Listen, like, when it comes to Jett executes, like, that should be set in stone for you. In my ranked playbook on Discord, I've covered every single Jett execute on every single map in every single situation. And there is not a single scenario that we didn't cover, that you can come across in Valorant. So, just practice those executes in a custom server, in the Swift play, in your ranked matches. And what you want to achieve? You want to achieve being able to do these executes on an autopilot mode. Like, you don't even need to think too much. You know exactly where you need to go, what you need to do, and you just focus on, taking the fights with the proper fights with the enemies and properly fighting together with your teammates. Attacker side, we couldn't really commit to anything. It had some good results, but I'm not sure if that was a fluke or if it was well played. I think I should have swung into fights more with my team. I was late in fights by second often. I'm not really sure what I could have done on defense. Retakes were terrible. I cannot dodge flashes to save my life, even though I should expect it. My smokes need work. I've been just kind of throwing it whatever. As a side note, it's unreal that we basically lose every round I die in. 14 rounds we lost to my 15 deaths. Same with my other recent games. It feels very mentally taxing, feeling like I hard carry every game or lose minus 20 rank rating. Listen, like when you're playing below Immortal 3, every round where you died and you didn't get traded, or you died in some kind of an unnecessary way, it is the die where you could have done something better. It is, like, when is it okay to die? Especially on a defender side. Like, you try to pick a fight with the enemies with a dash ability. Okay, fine. You have a dash ability, maybe you can use it to instantly escape, maybe that was the problem, but whatever. You try to kill the enemies with some kind of an outplay, or some kind of an advantage. Like fighting with your teammates, you die, your teammates trade you, that's okay. Whatever. Or enemies counter you, they counter that specific play that you went for at that moment of time. Okay, we're gonna adapt next time, now we know what they're doing to counter us. Then, in eco rounds, you try to go for some kind of an aggressive play. Try to take the space aggressively, or try to trade yourself for as many kills as possible. You die with 0 kills, it's okay. It's fine. Maybe we could have, you know, done something better, but in those rounds you need to play a bit more aggro. But when it is absolutely not okay for you to die, is picking some stupid 50-50 fights that you don't need at all, fighting in areas where you have 0 advantage over the enemies, and just wasting your utility left and right for fights that make absolutely no sense. I mean, generally speaking, like, when you're below Immortal 3 and grinding Valorant, kills literally don't matter at all. Like, you can drop 50 kills and still lose a match in an Ascendant lobby. What truly matters is that the following. Your performance in pistol rounds is mega important when you're playing in low and medium elo lobbies. Like, how you play pistol rounds will decide a lot of the things when it comes to your win rate. How you play anti-eco rounds is also very important. How you play eco rounds is also very important. And how do you play the clutch situations is also very important. If you're good in these 4 type of rounds, economy rounds, you will have a very high win rate in Valorant. Full buy rounds, you know, really depend on a lot of different factors. You know, like what type of teammates you get, what type of enemies, etc., etc. But generally speaking, like, you want to minimize the amount of your unnecessary deaths to bare minimum. You know, like, it is much better if in a game that you've lost or won, you're like 15-8, 15-10, 15-11, 28, I don't know, like, I'm just making random numbers, but the whole point is minimal amount of risk. Like, especially as a Jett player, you need to have a checklist, mental checklist, that you follow every single round, and you're just playing Valorant as a 9-to-5 job. Overextending doesn't exist. Fighting for kills doesn't exist. Fighting for pure blood does not exist. Fighting to make an advantage, keeping the advantage, playing with your teammates on a refrag potential, staying alive to close out the rounds yourself and actually have a solo impact. You're actually learning something new. So, the easiest thing that you can fix, and the main thing that you should focus on as a player that is below Immortal 3, is minimizing the amount of these unnecessary deaths that you have in your gameplay. Deaths that simply don't need to happen at all. Now let's see what he actually did. Like, I have no fucking idea. Like, you stated a lot of the stuff here, you know. I mean, you already know what you need to fix and what you need to work on. Maybe we don't even need to see the VOD review. Okay, let me just fix something quickly. Oh yeah. Did we avoid Steam? It's not Steam snipers. Like, my power went off in the middle of the game. You know, like, when Valorant gods tell you you should not play Valorant anymore for that day, you just stop. It's okay. We don't need to be addicted. Billy, help me pick 150 rank rating. Good job, my man. Should I buy Singularity Vandal or a Ghost skin? I have 7 Vandal skins. Singularity Vandal is kinda shit. I mean, it's okay, but there's many better Vandals, in my opinion. Okay. Do you ever play comp with low music? No, I cannot, man. Like, I already have serious problems with focus. As I'm getting older, like, I don't know what's happening, literally. Like, I just can't. Like, basically, I can focus on maximum one thing at a time. Maximum. Multitasking doesn't exist at all anymore. If I'm looking at the chat, I'm not playing the game. If I'm playing the game, I cannot focus on the chat or something else. Like speaking and playing the game, also impossible for me.
We get a pick. We move 30 seconds left.
Okay, just a second. That's good. Okay, let's start. So now we are on a defender side of Sunset. You load up in ranked solo queue on a specific map with and against a specific team composition. So first thing we need to analyze is what is the weakness and strength of each team composition and what can we do about it. The main weakness of your team comp is that you don't have a, you don't have like a real sentinel that can actually cover the flanks, lurks, and all of that stuff on both attackers and defender side. So we really need to keep our eyes on the minimap, and we need to just track the enemies very good. Like, we need to always ask ourselves where the enemies can be, how many enemies we see on the minimap, and that's it. Also, we're kind of missing a bit more like recon utility. I mean, not recon utilities, like we're missing the a bit of flashes that enemies have over us, but that doesn't matter that much. Now, generally speaking, you have a pretty standard team composition on Sunset. I would just trade, Sage for some other Sentinel, but it doesn't matter. Now, when it comes to the enemy team comp, they have a really fucked up team composition. Like, they have enormous amount of utility to take space, clear space, and we need to expect the pop flashes left and right. Like, we need to always play with some kind of a cover, around some kind of a cover. You cannot be in the middle of open, even with Jett. We need to also track where the enemy KO is using his knife, so that we can dodge it, destroy it, etc, etc. Now, on a attacker side, when it comes to the enemy's team comp, they also don't have a real sentinel. They have, in my opinion, they have a bit better sentinel, which is Deadlock for this map. But maybe what we can abuse on the attacker side, we can go for maybe some fast flanks, fast lurks, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 rounds, because enemies also don't have any recon tools to scout for the flanks and lurks. And, on Sunset is a very claustrophobic map, very small map as well. If the 5-man playstyle is not working, if passive playstyle is not working, sure, in some eco rounds, halberd rounds, rounds where you have the ultimate, maybe we can try to do something and take more space from the enemy team. Also, against this team composition on a defender side, you really need to fight for more space. Like, we cannot allow the enemies to take B main, mid, and A main for free. If you give them these positions for free, we're absolutely fucked. They literally have like 6 flashes. They have such a good team composition for the executes. The only dive agent they have is Yoru, but to be honest, like, Yoru is still as good as before. He's gonna be teleporting in, and we don't have that good of a team composition to counter their executes. So now, how should we play Sunset on a defender side? On Sunset, generally, first of all, it's a fast rotation map in ranked solo queue. Always prioritize the team play over the map control, especially in the early rounds. Generally speaking, you don't give a shit about B site and A site control on this map. What does that mean? That means that in the full buy rounds, in the pistol rounds, and anti-eco rounds, you're never willing to die alone trying to defend some bomb site yourself. We can abuse as many off angles, common angles, dash ability to take some, 70-30, 90-10 gunfights. Try to get some picks, but it is totally fine if you just play 5v5, 4v4, 3v3 retakes. And on this map, you should always prioritize the market control and top mid control over the bomb site control. Like, if your teammates are struggling with defense of these two positions, or enemies are there pushing your teammates, rotate fast. Don't let the enemies have this. If the enemies take the market and top mid, the round is practically over in medium elo lobbies, because you have absolutely no idea how aware your teammates are going to be when it comes to the enemy's positioning. Now, the first 4 rounds on a defender's side, you can play a bit more passive. You know, you don't need to fight for the B main, A main, and mid control. That doesn't mean that you should give this control for free. That simply means that we don't really know where the enemies are going to go. We don't know what type of pattern of pushing and executes they're going to do. Wasting utility in A main, B main, or mid to take the control of these areas of the map, especially in the first round, is an absolute nonsense. Because we're going to lose enormous amount of utility to stop their actual executes and to play proper retakes. From the 5th round, you make a decision how aggressive or how passive you want to play on a defender's side. And of course, on every map in Valorant, like, you should never be starting super passively, where you're not giving a proper information for your teammates. Where are the enemies at that moment of time? If you're starting on A site, your starting position always needs to be some kind of angle where you see you know, if anyone is walking up through this A main area of the map, like jiggle peeking this shit or holding a tight angle here, primarily for the information. And then when you see the enemies, like, you can activate the dash ability with a peeker's advantage, try to delete one enemy, then get onto another tight angle, then maybe updraft here. Like, with Jett, you can always abuse minimum 2 or 3 positions before you need to fully back off and wait for your teammates to rotate. Same goes for the B main, same goes for market, mid, top mid, everything else. Now, the first 2 rounds, you always play around the market and B site, and in the 3rd round, you decide where to position based on the enemy's previous pattern of pushing. So, in the first round with Jett, like, you really have a lot of options. I'm not gonna tell you specifically what you should abuse, but you know, option number 1, we close the market doors. You play with a ghost and updraft. You hear the enemies pushing the B main. You can maybe go for a, you know, an aggressive off angle like this, like with a dash ability. Try to get a pick, updraft up here when the enemies are doing an execute. Take this as another 90-10, 70-30 angle. We can dodge the enemies' flashes and recon abilities. Try to kill one more guy. Spam the enemies through the smoke. Play the retake with your allies. Option number 2, you can literally go for a sheriff. Do the same shit. Option number 3, you can play classic shorty. Drop the shorty at the backside. Get a ghost. And now, you know, we can go into the B main area of the map. Tell your teammates to close the market doors for the first round. On timing, you can try to peek the enemies. Try to get one enemy out of the server. Jiggle peek this angle. Try to get one more enemy out of the server. Jiggle peek this angle. Try to get one more enemy out of the server. And then at the backside, bait the enemies to push you in and delete them with a shorty. So, whichever option you decide to play with, it's really up to you. But, as you can see, what is very important on Sunset is the following. On Sunset, and I'm gonna repeat this with 10 asterisk. If your team, or if you are not fighting for the mid area of the map, like, you don't want to fight the enemies here and kill them, always make sure that the market doors are closed. We don't need them. We want to cut off that specific position through which enemies can lurk, flank us, split us, etc, etc. Especially if you're doing rotations from B site all the way to A site. Take 1 second of your time to close the market doors and then do a rotation. Like, you don't want the enemy cipher, you know, like Deadlock or whoever, like, sneaking up here, then from the B main going through here. Like, they just have much faster rotations and you don't have info. what they're gonna do. Like market doors, that is the only purpose of market doors. And that's it. On the defender side. Now, yeah, I can see it, chat. Like, it's also annoying me as well. Like, wait. Is it fixed? Oh, it's not. Holy shit, it's even worse, bro. Ah, it's on the left side. What the fuck? Still there? Okay, that should be good, right? That's good to shine now. Okay. Let's see what our friend is gonna do and how he is gonna play this first round. Yo. We're playing with a sheriff, okay. Listen, if you want to start in the B-main in the first round, emphasize to one of your teammates that is starting with you on the B side or in the market to close the market doors. We cannot have those doors open in the first round. Is there still something? No? And yeah, of course, like in the first round, play fast rotations. Here, you should have taken some time to basically, like, close the doors before you go on this rotation. There's still one pixel? Come on, bro. No more pixels, right? Yeah, now it's... Okay.
Goes in the smoke.
One enemy remaining.
What?
Okay, I mean, in this 4v1, like, I mean, our friend basically did nothing, which is fine, like, you know, your team has won this round for you. Solid activation of a dash ability. In this 4v1, as long as we stick together, we win this round together. Like, just cover the angles that your teammates are not covering and play with your most aggressive allies. Good. Very good. John La, we'll see, man. Now listen. With Jett on Sunset, you should and you can prioritize getting the operator as soon as possible. Very claustrophobic map, but also all of the early peaks kinda work in a favor of a defender side players. And we can get away with a lot of shit with the Jett's dash ability. So for example, if you play the first round with the sheriff, and you save the sheriff from the first round into the second round, what you can do, you can just simply combine the sheriff with a heavy shield, stinger, and one smoke. Make sure that you win the second round without dying. So we have that, you know, like that bonus round weapon for the third round. And then in a fourth round, you will always have money for the operator. Operator with utility, operator with light shield, operator with something. And we can start fucking up the enemies. From the fourth round. Marshal and Sheriff, I don't know about that. I mean, sure, you can do it, why not? It's not that big of a deal. But just for these anti-eco rounds, the Sunset is way too claustrophobic. And if you already have a Sheriff, just play a Sheriff and Stinger, you know? But I have nothing against this as well. It's fine. If you don't want to buy the Outlaw or Bulldog, Now, in these anti-eco rounds, if you're playing in the market with some long-range weapon, don't close the market doors. Like, if you have the op, if you have the outlaw, if you have the marshal in an anti-eco round where the enemies don't have shields at all, leave the doors opened. Let the enemies fight for it. Bait them. You wanna fight them here. You know, you wanna hold this angle, kill an enemy there, kill this enemy here, kill this enemy here. Then again with the dash ability. So yeah. And just go, you know, in this second round, just go for the body shots. Never headshots. Just go for the body shots. Like, there's no way enemies will have any shields or anything. Now, listen. This aggressive play that you made right now is kinda bad. Now, let me tell you why. First of all, enemies are eco hull by we don't need to risk any type of peaks at all. So that's the reason number one. Reason number two, like in these anti-eco rounds, you never want to showcase to enemies the usual plays that you like to do on that specific map. You know, like, you don't want to show to the enemies that you like to play aggro. You don't want to show to the enemies the best off angles and strategies that you have in your playbook. Like, those plays we're keeping for, you know, some other grim times. Like, you know, when you're playing against the enemies that are full buy, rounds where you're eco, hull buy, etc, etc. Because if you showcase to enemies right now that you love to play aggro in mid, they will be aware of it, or more aware of it, in the future rounds as well. And especially in this medium elo, like, players are just playing with on full autopilot mode, and if you don't condition them or you don't show them something early on, most of the times they're gonna consider it like you're never gonna do it anyways. Now, I have no idea what two of your teammates did in the B main, but criminal. It's okay that you played aggressively here, no problems at all. And here you should still play with a marshal. I mean, you're playing against 3 enemies that don't have a heavy shield at all. Claw was overhealed, but you shot 1 bullet. Now you can just go for, you know, with marshal, on this range, you can even go for the hip fire shots and just kill the enemies with a, you know, 2 enemies with the body shots. And that's it. Okay, that guy is the guy that we hit. Shit, bro. But you knew that both of these enemies are top mid. Like, we knew that both Yoru and Reyna are top mid. You have the spike in the B-main area of the map. Wait a bit, relax. These are the decisions that I was talking about. If you don't know, where is the Reyna? Where is the Yoru? Ask your teammates. You know, if you were unaware, ask them like, hey guys, where's the Reyna? Where's the Yoru? Give yourself some time to think, to breathe. Okay, activating a dash ability here, fine, whatever. Like, you felt under pressure, you felt like there's a huge chance you're gonna fight the enemies. No problem. But if the enemies are giving you time to breathe, you know, like, take the cover here, get the gun in the hands, ask your teammates where the fuck are these enemies, and go for some kind of a proper play. We could have just tucked ourselves into the B main and just with 2 body shots finish this round. Okay. Now listen, so in the first round enemies went A, in the second round they did a B split. In this third round, chances are 50-50 that enemies will either go A or B. In these type of rounds, just play market. Again, and B side. Close the market doors, lock in the B main, and play a fast rotation towards A. But you can also start top mid and basically like play fast rotations between A and B. Now in this round, aggressing the enemies in mid, okay, we can do it, no problem. Again, a good decision, just we need a smoke for something. You cannot do this without the smokes. Especially, you know, with a sheriff and doing it alone. What are we doing right now? What? Enemies have 3 flashes. Enemies have 3 flashes. KO can pop flash you on mid. Reyna can pop flash you. Yoru can pop flash you. But we cannot push here like with 0 utility, man. I mean, it's just a suicide play. Which are fine in eco rounds, but most of the times you will just get fully punished and enemies are just gonna get you out of the server. Now, this is once again one of those bad plays that worked. But this shit is not gonna be working in a long run. You will not be getting this type of kills. Okay, so enemies went B actually. You see, this is what I'm talking about. Like here, you don't know what to do. You know, like these are these decisions that you were talking about. But this is a very easy sequence to understand in Valorant. Like, you know, at this moment of time, that there's minimum 2 or 3 enemies on the site. And 1 enemy is planting the spike. You know that there is Reyna in the market. You have 2 teammates going through mid, and 2 of you guys are in the CT. Just kill the Reyna. Hold the CT position. Let's kill the Reyna. Let's take 1 more free gun. And then we're gonna deal with the enemies on site. The worst thing that you can do in this type of situation is exactly what you did. And that is like forcing a solo fight on the site with a sheriff without a shield. A 1v2 fight. When you have Sage with yourself, Yoru is pinching the enemy Reyna. And in the worst case scenario, you will fight here 2 versus 4. Absolutely worst. Because there's no way that 3 enemies are gonna push through this smoke and play with the Reyna. Whenever you notice, during the retakes, attacks as well, like, it doesn't matter. Whenever you notice that 1 enemy, or 2 enemies, are fully split from the rest of their team, just make the sandwich of these enemies. Like, isolate them, try to clean these fights first, and then we can play, you know, a 2v2, 3v2, 4v2 retake onto the B site. Like, the worst thing that can happen in these rounds is everyone takes some solo fights. Yoru fights solo, Sage fights solo, you fight solo, Omen fights solo. But how the fuck are we gonna win this? All of you guys are eco, you only have sheriffs, no shield at all. Enemies can run and gun you down with the Spectre, Stingers, like... Maybe they have Outlaw as well on the attack. I have no idea what they have, you know, what type of economy they have. What type of guns they have. But okay, you know, in eco rounds, as long as you kill 1 enemy, and you trade yourself for at least 1 or 2 kills, it's a dub for you. You did a good job. You know? Like here you dealt a lot of economy damage to the enemies, you also killed 1 guy, you're building ultimate points. It's okay, you know, you did a good job here. Now please emphasis to your allies to close these motherfucking doors in market. Another reason. I'm gonna give you 1 more reason. Why you want to close these market doors. If we don't close these doors when we are not fighting for mid, if enemies do a B split, they have the doors to protect their anal cavity from the mid push through the smoke. And as they're doing a B split, they can just do this, and now they don't need to worry about this area of the map at all. They know no one is there. They know that nothing can fuck them up. Peeking mid with the operator in this round. I don't know about that. Listen, like, we're already in the round number 4. We need to use the basic rules of reading the enemies to position ourselves in this round. First round, enemies went to A. Second round, they did a B split. Third round, they went for a 4-man push on B. Chances in this round are 80% that enemies might do some kind of a 5-man push onto the A site. And I would definitely play on A site. Especially with the op, like, you know, we can go for some fast peek with a Yoru flash. We can also play passively and abuse the tight angles and dash ability to get the kills. But once again, I would tell my Sage, close the market doors, and she can just wall the B main, and she can stop the enemy's push for what, like for 15 seconds, 20 maybe even. Yo, Catherine, well soon. Listen, if your first peek doesn't work here, like you get pop flashed or something, don't redo it. Especially if you hit the market doors, don't do it. Because right now, you don't know who you're fighting and where you're fighting. You have zero advantage. Nada. Literally zero. Like, for example, going for this peak right now, it's not even it's not a 50-50 fight. It's a 20-80 fight. Enemies can peek you from the tiles fast, you're dead. You have zero support in the tiles. Enemies can hold any angle here and simply be ready for you and pre-fire you. And you're in a huge angle perception disadvantage. Yo, we also went for a slow peek there, bro, like. And this is what I was talking about, like, even if we start on the A site, this Sage is probably gonna delay their push for minimum 10 to 15 seconds, like we have time to rotate. Good kill. I mean, I don't know what enemy Reyna did. Like, I guess someone should check up on this Reyna in real life. Good repositioning. Very good, actually. Sage is holding the smoke. This is the one-on-one mistake of Jett players that play with operator. Like, listen. Like, you never want to allow, even if you have the operator, your teammates to fight on the angles that you cannot see at that moment of time. Scale up with them. You know? Like, you can still hold this line of sight for them. You know, you can still hold the enemies pushing here. But while you're scoped in, and while you know that no one can peek you from the right side, close the gap with your Sova. Close the gap with your Yoru. It's better than, you know, you holding this for, like, potential enemy peek for, like, 3 seconds. And then your Sova does this, he dies. Your Yoru does this, he dies as well. Sage goes into the smoke, dies in the smoke. And now, you're at the backside with the operator here. You need to clutch a 1 versus 3, 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3, I don't know. Some kind of an impossible round. Try to never lose the timing and spacing to play with your allies, no matter which weapons you have. Literally, it doesn't matter. Anyways, in this round, even if you lose this operator, even if you lose this operator and we win this round, our teammates are gonna pick up the op, obviously. But also, we have the ultimate in the next round, no matter if you die or not. You know, for example, like this is a bit criminal. That you have 2 teammates here, holding this line of sight, and you're basically doing nothing. Like, you're useless for the last 10 seconds. At the end of the day, what you could have done is just, you know, play with the Sage here. You know, we can get to the backside, hold the peek here, and then if somebody peeks from the enemy team, bam. Bam, bam. Also, smoke disappears. Now the Sage is gonna have this line of sight. We can fight the enemies with the Sage, you know. Kill the enemies here, kill the enemies here. Maybe enemy Omen, but they don't have the Omen in this match. That is up there.
Don't get on.
I don't know, like when you play like this, you are trusting your teammates quite a lot. And you cannot complain if they die and you end up in a 1v2, 1v1, 1v3, whatever. You're trusting them a lot. Most positive Radiant streamer, should I trust that? No, you should not. You should not. Especially once we lost 3 games in a row. Good kill. Okay, I'm just gonna repeat one thing that I usually repeat during these VOD reviews. A lot of players in ranked solo queue think that what he did is still a good team play, but it's not. Like a proper team play in Valorant is a team play where you consistently fight together with your allies, where you're consistently able to trade each other's out, where you're consistently able to use your allies to get some kills for your team, for yourself, to close out the round. Like the spacing that you keep between yourself and your teammates is mega important. And most of the times, not always, but most of the times, you want to be able to fight together with your allies on every single angle on which they are taking the fight at that moment. I have absolutely no idea where's this Yoru, and I don't know how he's backside. I'm also surprised. I'm not gonna lie. But okay, this is a very good information for us. So enemy Yoru likes to flank and lurk a lot, and he is always going through mid. That is the mental, physical note. I don't know, write it on in the left corner of your screen with a marker. Enemy Yoru is lurking, flanking almost every round. We need to be aware of the top mid lurks and flanks from this Yoru. If you don't see a Yoru during the execute or for a very long period of time, we expect that Yoru everywhere and anywhere, especially in our anal cavity. Okay, this round especially, we should start on the A side. We just destroy the enemy's push onto the B side. They know that our Sentinel is playing B. Tell the Sage to close the market doors, and let's fight for that aim-in area of the map with our allies. Or start top mid once again, and just play fast rotations. Now doing this again, you know, the problem of doing this play in one more round, you know, in the second, for the second round in a row, is like you have absolutely no idea if enemies heard you in the previous round, and they might be ready for this type of a peak. Usually this type of peaks you don't want to repeat in the identical way 2 times in a row. You know, it's okay if we do this like, I don't know, like in 3 rounds from now, 5 rounds from now, like when the enemies forget a bit about, you know, this type of a peak. Yep. Once again, you know, same shit, like Sage is gonna stop the enemy's push. We could have rotated from the top mid towards the B side in the same way. This spot, usually, if enemies have a lot of recon agents and a lot of pop flash characters, you can just hide behind a cover on the right side here, and then go for the peak once the enemies move in. They don't see you at all on this position here. They move in, take a kill over the smoke. Because right now, you know, you can get flashed by the Reyna flash, KO flash, Yoru flash, I don't know, like, they have a lot of flashes. Listen, when you're on a position such as this one, if you don't have a dash ability ready, immediately after the first kill, drop down. And you need to lock onto this smoke. Because if the enemies already enter the site, and your teammates have zero vision, if enemies can do this, you cannot stay up there. This is a spot where you take, you know, one fight with the enemies, 1 or 2 potential kills, and then you instantly need to lock in onto the smoke push. Especially if you kill one enemy. Enemies are probably gonna be a bit more pressured to fight you here. They lost an ally, you made a numbers advantage, they will be pressured to get it back. If you have a, you know, operator and shorty, maybe with a shorty you can sneak into the smoke and try to surprise the enemies. If you don't have a shorty, you can just hold the smoke push and smoke peek, and that's your only job at this moment of time.
Spike planted.
Listen, these type of rounds are the rounds where it is totally fine for you to use your ultimate to clutch this round. You know, like, generally speaking in ranked solo queue, you mainly want to use the Jett ultimate as an economy saver tool. Like a tool to have, you know, one extra gun in the eco and halberd rounds, like when your teammates are playing a low buy essentially, and to have higher chances of winning these rounds. But here, you know, we are 3v4. We still have Omen Paranoia. I mean, we don't have it anymore, but we had it. We still have smokes. We still have like potential Yoru flashes and a fake out. It's only 3v4, like it's still winnable. Well, anyways, we got sucked in somehow here. Literally, if he just went one footstep backwards, he would have dodged this. Like, but it's really hard to tell. Like when Deadlock is ulting you, like, I don't know why. I mean, it would be too OP if you had some kind of a map visual for that. Ooh, almost. Okay.
I'll try to pay for you.
Okay. Just a second. I don't know what happened. YouTube.
It's a gun down on me.
No request H.
I'll try to pay for you.
Now, I don't know about this play that you're doing right now. You know, they still have KO in their team. If the KO uses an instant knife for the B main, we're kind of fucked. I mean, any normal KO main in this type of team composition should be using a knife behind this box to scout for the enemies in this area of the map. Any normal, like, I don't know how, you know, how these players are gonna play in Ascendant 1. You only have the ultimate as a main weapon. I mean, you have a Bucky, but Buckies are secondary in this situation, so I probably would have played this round a bit more passively. Especially because they also have the Yorus ultimate. She can just scout you out, no matter what type of a double bait setup you have. And playing aggressively in this round, it's just impossible based on the enemy's team composition and ultimate status. Listen, like, this is a one-on-one mistake of every Jett player. If you're already behind a cover, you don't need to peek the enemies immediately. Wait for the dash ability to be ready, and then go for a peek. So that you don't feel pressure to go for more shots than you have to, so you don't feel pressure to stay in the fights. Like, you are in a control here. You know? Like, basically, enemies never saw us going for this aggressive peek in any round. Maybe in that one round your team has fought in the B-man, but that's it. We dodged the KO flash. I don't know why KO is using a flash for the B-man, but that's a topic for another day. We activate the dash ability, and now we can just wait for the enemies on this off angle. Take a kill. We can also updrift. Do that. We can also wait for the dash ability. Do that. Like, all three of these solutions are 10 times better than peeking the enemies in the middle of activating your dash ability and also peeking the enemies with a basic swing, for which they can have a perfect crosshair placement and for which you're not that easy to kill. You're still moving pretty fast. But this, and this is always much better than just doing a normal peek, like, you know, like this. And also, like, in all of these, like, this depends on what type of utility you have, and depends, you know, what you want to do with your teammates. But in the aim and area of the map, usually you want to surprise the enemies when you hear that one enemy is on the stairs with a peek. Like, you want to hold some off angles here or go for a peek once the enemies need to clear this angle. Now listen, like, this is one play that you can do with Sage to defend the B site. Like, so, every single round where your Sage played on the site, she was playing super passively. She always did a wall here, and then the slow orbs. Maybe in the next round, you know, when you condition the enemies to think about this utility in a passive way, what you can do is you can just tell your Sage to do the instant YouTube GUI looks so weird on PC. What do you mean? There's a YouTube Shorts and YouTube Normal, no? What the fuck? I'm gonna check it later. So, what we can do when your Sage conditions the enemies that she is playing passively with a wall, play here, tell the Sage to use the wall once the enemies make one footstep or two, whatever. Like, enemies make a sound. These enemies never played on contact. They were just pushing fast as 5, and we might surprise the enemies and get like 3-4 kills before we die in a position like this. Plus, in the next round, enemies don't have a, you know, Yoru ultimate or any real scout. I mean, in this whole match, like, enemies have like 0 recon abilities.
Let's say.
Yeah. Yeah. When you're going for this peak, don't make the sound. Like, don't make the footsteps. It needs to be a slow peak, because then enemies are gonna be ready for you. Like, you know, walk up here and just take this angle. And that's it. Like, I don't understand how can you make a footstep here. Of course, this is the first round where the enemy KO did the proper knife. You know, this is the knife that you should have expected from the first round. Now, I don't know what type of communication you had with your Sage, but if the plan was to do what I told you to do, why are we playing with the operator? Number one. And number two, why is our Sage not with us? I mean, your Sage just demolished you.
Bro.
You should have went away here. You know, taking this type of fight is not worth it. This is one of those, like, once again, this is not 50-50 at all. This is another fight that doesn't work in your favor. You have only one shot to get a kill. In the best case scenario, you will get a kill and die. In the best. But you don't want to be in that type of scenario. Never. Especially in a round where you have the operator. Sage destroyed the wall for you. Get the fuck out. We can hold some different line of sight. You know, maybe you can position behind the wall, holding some gap in the wall and doing this. Then the KO knife is gonna fall down. We can activate the dash ability and go for an aggro peek. Then we can, you know, bait more for our Sage that is on our right side. But if you die, even if you take a kill right now, this kill means absolutely nothing. That's another problem of players in ranked solo queue. Like you, every single time in ranked solo queue, in the full buy rounds, anti-eco rounds, and a pistol round, where you get a kill and you die instantly, you did absolutely nothing. Your impact in that round is still 0. It is not negative, but it is not positive as well, obviously. And you're just gonna be a spectator watching your random gorillas in a team trying to win this round for you. And we all know how that goes in ranked solo queue, especially in the low elo lobbies. This right here, once again, it's not your good play. This is a miracle for which you should pray to God when you go to bed tonight. This is only the enemy's mistake. Only the enemy's. Like, the enemy's lack of confidence to go for a peek here. But these type of mistakes will get punished 8 out of 10 times. Especially once you move to Immortal 3 lobbies. I'm not coaching you to play against these imbeciles for the rest of your life.
I saw all of them.
That was actually close.
Behind the wall.
Yep. Okay, going for a mid peak now in this round is fine. Like, you know, we didn't do it for 3 rounds or 2 rounds. Probably enemies, you know, forgot about this completely, and we don't really know if they even heard it the first time. So, okay. This is good. Let's see how this goes. You take also people for coaching that are bronze? Yeah. I coach anyone. I don't care about your rank, because every player can improve, every player can get better. As a matter of fact, I prefer coaching the players that are, number one, new to the game, because it's very easy to coach them, very easy to immediately guide them in a good direction. Like, the hardest players to coach are the players that are stuck in this game for the last 5 years in Immortal and High Ascendant. Because these players built so many bad habits that require, like, weeks and months to be fixed. And number two, like, are obviously low elo players. Like, even if you're stuck in low elo, like, you can literally, like, rank up without your eyes and without your hands to minimum Ascendant 1. We'll play rank today. Yes. I'll play 2 more games. Take my advice, if possible. Like, if you already don't know if enemies are gonna go A or B, just start top mid and play fast rotations between A and B. You're still holding mid. Plus, enemies didn't smoke top mid once. Even in the round where they did a split onto the B side, they didn't smoke the top mid. And when you're playing on a defender side, like, you need to track what type of utility enemies are using. You know? And June, my friend, like, I gave you a training for this, and you should be doing that training. You know, taking the... I mean, I cannot expose what type of training you're doing, but whatever. There's no difference in terms of you using operator right now if you start top, mid, or market. But The main difference is, like, you're immediately there to play with your teammates on A side.
Not late.
Ooh. How is Sage alive?
Here. Spike planted.
First wall.
Now, you know, the problem here is that if enemies backstab you, Omen doesn't have a really good angle on you. Like, basically, when you're in the CT, right here on the A side, if there is a chance that enemies can do this, one player needs to be here, and one player here. Like, you should have taken, you know, while the enemies were planting the spike, you should have tried peeking them a bit more aggressively and getting onto the left side. Because right now, your Omen is just useless. Like, he cannot refrag you properly. And also, this angle is mega dangerous. Like, you never want to hold the angles with Operator like this. So, basically, if there are two angles that are very close to each other, from which enemies can peek you, and you're in the angle perception disadvantage, like, you need to see an instant peek from the enemies from both of these positions. I cannot hold this angle like this, because I don't see this enemy jiggle peeking me. We need to hold these angles a bit wider. It is a bit more risky, of course, but anyways, they are very close to each other. You can just do a small flick, micro correction, the guy is dead. But not being able to see enemies here, enemies jiggle peek or a slow peek or whatever, can cost us a bit. You want to see the whole angle, you know? Pull yourself away a bit. Oh, what Omen did. I love ranked solo queue, man. Like, to be honest, like, I think the ranked solo queue would be better if the microphones are just fully turned off and there's no chatting, no pings, nothing. We just, everyone plays for himself. Then enemies are also gonna have these teammates, you're gonna have them as well, so... Now listen, man. No matter what is the situation, a good position is a good position, a bad position is a bad position. Usually the worst positions that you can play in Valorant are the spots where you're overexposed from enormous amount of angles at that moment of time. If you're overexposed from more than 2 angles that you cannot see within your sight, it is a bad position. For example, here, enemies can backstab us from CT, enemies can kill us from sight. Fuck it. You know, your Sage is stuck anyways there. We need to go for this retake. And if you bait out the Deadlock's ultimate and Clove's ultimate, it's okay. It's fine. You know, it's okay. But right now, you dying from this push, oh, that's not okay. Now, you know, when the Omen died, you needed to scale up here. We can hold this line of sight. We can pick up his Vandal for this retake. And now with the smokes, maybe we can cross at the backside, clear the backside, and then go for a potential half defuse and to win this round. Now when your Sage died, that's it. You know, this is the time for you to save. Here you should be running towards the CT and just, you know, getting the fuck away from here. Yeah, let's go. We need to check the short. I mean, Deadlock can be there. Okay. Okay. I don't know why YouTube is so slow. Okay. Now. I don't know about this. Starting, you know, right now you cannot start in this position. There are 2 reasons. We have absolutely no idea what enemies are gonna do. And the reason number 2 is we noticed that enemy KO started using an early knife for the beam area of the map. Like, they are definitely gonna reveal you. They are definitely gonna push you back with a utility. Like, if you get a kill right now, once again, you're just gonna get the kill because enemies are bad. You know? Like, if you want to start here, you know, do something aggressive in the B main right now, we need to play here, so we can dodge the Chaos Knife. And then when the KO does a knife, we can take some off angle, or when the enemies clear this position, we can go for a surprise peek and then dash away towards the safety and just reposition. I don't think this is gonna work. And also, stop making the footsteps here. I mean, every high elo player, I mean, that is very audible. You know? The sound circle is exactly there. Now, I don't know, like, if enemies have ears and what type of headset and headphones they're using, but this is audible. Once again, like, you're getting kills on the enemy's bad place and not based on what makes more sense based on the previous rounds. Like, you will get bitten by these mistakes in a long run by disrespecting players like this.
Good time, mid.
Sorry, like I had something on my hands.
Yeah, cure top mid, cure top mid.
Not really holding man. No noise B.
Oh, top mid.
One stop.
Also, like, listen. When you notice that one enemy likes to do something a lot of the times, like you have some information, such as Yoru pushing the mid and top mid alone, such as Yoru lurking, give that info to your teammates as well. You know, tell them what do you think enemies like to do the most. Because I swear to God, there is absolutely no way that these 4 allies that you're playing with right now know what enemy Yoru is doing. Because 90% of players in Valorant are just autopiloting. They're playing the game only because they're addicted, not to get better.
Top mid, yeah.
Wait for the dart. Here, I'm gonna dart in a second to get rid of spam.
Rangers on A.
A bit of a crazy play, considering we don't know, like,
We're in attack 40.
where's the KO?
Blocking sight.
Okay, now we have all the info.
Oh, they side.
What are these 2 smokes for, man? Like, you know, when you're scaling up and taking space for your teammate with your teammates, and you don't know how enemies are gonna play in that space, as long as you're playing with your allies, like, it's okay. You know? We don't need to waste our smokes or dash ability or whatever. Here you can scale up without a single smoke, but what if the KO flashes you? But then use an instant smoke to cover up, you know, yourself and your, you know, your Sage. Because both of these smokes might be very valuable to us, like, for the retake.
Planted.
That was funny as fuck. Man, that bounce was crazy.
One elbow, one side.
One enemy remaining.
Backside.
Here.
Hit 94.
Elbow.
When I get on, you hold me.
Okay. Okay, this was like mega risky. But considering you have the AWP and this guy has a Vandal, it was a good decision. Generally speaking, listen. When you're playing the retakes with the operator, number 1, shorty is also a weapon. So if you're playing Jett and you have a dash ability and smokes, you can also play aggressively with the shorty and just try to apply the pressure and try to kill enemies somewhere so that your teammates have easier time retaking that site. If you already cannot find an angle for op shot. Tip number 2 is, like, if you already have some dead enemies around you and dead teammates, it's always better to play retakes with automatic weapon. You know, trade it for a Vandal, Phantom, and don't even think about it. Playing up on the retakes is only good if you're low HP already, and you need to rely on one shot to get a kill and to win that round.
Get on you.
Okay, now in this round we can simply use the enemy's ultimate status to read where they're gonna go. Actually, we can use a lot of things. Enemies started abusing the AB pattern of pushing. You know, they're going A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And second of all, last time when the KO had the ultimate, they pushed B side. So starting on B, very good idea.
Don't want me. B.
The first time he did like a like a proper a proper flash.
KO is the only one I saw.
Smoke top mid. Two mid.
Oh my god. You know, this is like one huge problem of your defender's side is that we're not closing the market doors when you're doing this type of play. Like, your Sage has plenty of time to close the doors and run towards the B main to support you and help you out. I mean, if you're not making some kind of a double bait setup here, you know, you're playing in a deep angle, this guy baiting for you from the B main and some double tower shit or something like that. Like, this guy is just, Sage is doing nothing. If that player on the B side is already doing nothing, send him to close the doors while you are dealing with the enemies in the B main.
Smoke top mid.
Now here, for an example, I would fully sell the B side and just lock in onto the market. If you lose the market control, the round is practically over. Especially if you consider they have a Yoru ultimate, KO ultimate, Deadlock ultimate, like, this is
Two mid.
done.
We going right.
Broke ball.
As I said, anyways, you should not be in this position to begin with. Like, there's no getting out here. You know, like here, for an example, you either hit this shot or you don't hit it. You don't have a dash ability because they have a KO ultimate. Even if you hit this shot, but you didn't kill Deadlock, you would die anyways. You're stuck on the site. You cannot go back because enemies are already coming through the market for your anal cavity. Generally speaking, always when you lose, like when enemies are doing a B split, especially with tons of ultimate abilities, you need to pick the fights in market first and then, you know, leave the B set open, fuck it, and play retake. It's fine. Also, in your settings, do you have the auto re-enter scope option enabled? If you have it, disable that shit. Okay, now based on the enemy's pattern of pushing, there is a chance enemies will go either mid or A, but we should start on top mid, so we can play fast rotations towards the A side.
Alt is B, I think.
Dash ability doesn't exist apparently. I mean, if you're picking this type of a fight, for example, whenever you die like this during your gameplay, you don't need a coach, you don't need to analyze anything. What you could have done better is using a dash ability to take a fight. And that's it. And these type of situations should never happen to you as a Jett player. Literally never. Like, already here, you heard one footstep of the enemies in the tiles. Enemy Yoru did the ultimate. It is time for you to activate a dash ability and to fight enemies with a dash. Chances are far above 5% that enemies will take a fight with you. Far above 5%. Because the general rule when it comes to Jett's dash ability is if there is even a 5% of chance for you to take a fight with an enemy, activate the dash ability and it is never wasted. Done.
Alt is B, okay.
Also, to be honest, like, you were holding a much better angle here. Like, I don't know why did you leave this position and go for this type of peek. Like, this angle here, it's not the best angle ever, but the thing about this angle is, like, you can go take a shot, and as you're taking the shot and killing one enemy, you're already repositioning with the knife out, activating a dash ability, and you can go for a second repick. Like, this wider swing
Alt is B, okay.
just doesn't make sense. When there's a chance for you to fight against 2, 3, 4, 5 enemies. And once again, like, there's a lot of rounds where our protagonist is taking a first kill and a first blood. But none of these first kills matter, because then he always dies, and anyways his teammates are 4v4. First bloods matter only if you get them and you keep that numbers advantage. And that is the main thing that you're searching for. So choosing the fights where you're gonna take a kill with the operator, but then instantly die, that fight is not a good fight. Like, reset yourself, turtle in a bit more, try to search for better opportunities. At least not good for the current skill level on which he's playing.
It was flashes out here.
Ares. That's crazy. But let's see this. I don't know why would you buy Ares here? How much money you had? I mean, it's much better if you get a, I don't know, like Spectre, Stinger, even Bucky, bro. Like, now once again with the ultimate, you're making the same mistake as before. Like, your engagements with the ultimates are so boring. Like, you're engaging the enemies like you have a Vandal Phantom, like updrift above the box, like, you know, glide a bit. Don't just swing the enemies out with your feet.
Flashes out here.
Moral of the story is, you want to be a hard target to predict and a hard target to kill.
In a mid.
KO here.
Doors open.
Not B.
Okay. Could have worked, you know, could have worked.
They left.
Fuck, KO has the ultimate now.
Hey.
You are powerless.
One still main.
My brother buys the Ares. The guy is planting the spike in this corner, and he is not spamming it.
One still main.
Thanks God, we have Ares now, bro. Like, very good buy. Very good buy. Yeah, now is the time to use the ultimate.
Holding elbow. Elbow.
Listen, like, updrafting on this position, a very bad idea. I mean, this KO needs to be somewhere close. Oh, actually, this KO needs to be in the elbow. Because he used the ultimate. We know that he is on the A site, somewhere in the A main area of the map. Your Omen is covering A short. All you need to do right now is bait the shit out of your Sova, keep your location a secret, and be ready to refrag your Sova once he dies. Or once he gets in a fight with a KO. Another problem is, personally, I think that you need to pay more attention which agents you're fighting. You know, against which team compositions you're playing. Like, I felt that this match, you got away with a lot of random shit, even though enemies have 6 fucking flashes. I'm in a 3v1 against KO. I need to respect that. I just need to respect that. Like, I don't know what type of utility KO has. Maybe he has both of his flashes still. I don't know that. You don't know that as well. So, you know, once again, we can just hold the elbow around the cover. Like, basically play a position like this one. Wait for the KO to swing from the elbow. KO swings. We just send him into the graveyard, out of the server, and win the round. You're overcomplicating this type of a sequence way too much. And also, it's very dangerous how you play it. Like, how you play certain clutch situations, or like ending of the rounds, or certain gunfights, completely depends who are you fighting at that moment of time.
Morning elbow.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Okay, that would be the defender side of Sunset, so let's see what our friend can do on the attacker side. Okay, now let's see what June is doing on the attacker side of Sunset. So basically, Sunset, in the first 4 to 6 rounds, you should organize your teammates to play together as 5. We should primarily be testing the enemies on B site and A site, and we are using the mid area of the map if shit hits the fan. Basically, if your executes on A and B are not working, we need to start working up mid, taking mid control, doing A splits, B splits, etc, etc, or maybe defaulting a bit more. Now, what you wanna execute in a first round purely depends on the enemy's team composition. Like here, for an example, so on Sunset, if enemies have 1 or more hardcore sentinels that you simply cannot deny in any way, like in this example they have deadlock, simply do A push 3 rounds in a row together as 5, and then in the 4th round we can do some kind of a fake, or we can just change our pattern a bit. We're trying to condition the enemies on the A side to be more aware of it, and if you somehow win all 3 rounds on A, then obviously like you're gonna pressure enemies way too much on A side, and they're gonna start prioritizing a lot, obviously. Now, with Jett, if you're playing against the Cypher, you need to have the updraft in the first round. If you're not playing against the Cypher, sure, like you can go with a classic pistol, light shield, 2 smokes, and a dash ability. When you're executing A site, you should primarily focus yourself on the elbow control, like we absolutely need it, and going through A short is optional if for some reason you cannot go through the elbow, or if, you know, your spike is maybe going through A short and some of your teammates are there and you need to help them out. You have 2 options in a first round. We can just do a farm and push through elbow with this type of a smoke setup in this medium elo, or you can do just a regular execute and that's it. But most teams will do a one-way smoke here and your teammates are just gonna get cooked, so I don't know. Like, it's up to you to decide what you want to do. When it comes to, you know, this match, we already talked about this at the start of this VOD review. You know, what we should be aware of, like, we don't have a single sentinel to cover the flanks and lurks. Sunset is a very small map, very claustrophobic map. You don't see all 5 enemies on the minimap. Check the back, check your anal cavity, you know, and that's it. Okay, let's see how this is gonna go. Oh yeah, and this is Ascendant 1. Very good idea. Whoever made this call out to dodge the KO knife, very good. But when you're dodging the KO knife for the A-main, you need to start somewhere here. Like your whole team needs to be there. Because some KO players will drop a knife here, some KO players will drop the knife, you know, some kind of a lineup for this shit here. Like, don't risk it. Just tell your teammates to play beyond this line here, dodge the knife, and then we can go for a push. If you get tagged by the knife, just instant rush. Fuck it. Go, 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 go. What we really need to be careful in this match is that enemies have 3 agents with flash abilities. Like when you're taking space, like you really need a cover for your eyes, and you need to be mega light. I mean, mega generous when you're using your smokes and your dash ability. Okay. An absolute waste of a dash ability, like, you know, you simply don't want to use it like this. Like, if there's no reason using it. If you're scared that your teammates will get pop flashed in this elbow area of the map, just a second. Moment. Just use the one with smokes. You know, especially in the first round, when you're doing the 5-man executes, like you really need to keep your dash ability for either taking the fight with the enemies, or actually dashing on the bomb site and scaling up, allowing your teammates to scale up on the site. Just a second. What do you invest in? Currently only crypto, to be honest, like, and it's going good so far. Yep. Now, basically, you know, you're scared that you're gonna get pop flash here. Do this smoke, scale up here with the dash ability, wait for the smoke to expire, jumps for the enemies, and let's go for some execute. Like either here or here, taking this space or this space for your teammates. Using the dash ability as a recon tool as well, and that's it. Now, if you do end up dashing here and doing this, like, don't immediately use your second smoke for something random. Like that second smoke, we are going to need to scale up into the bomb site. Especially if you don't have anyone in the A short. Like you will either have to do this, so we can go out and take the space, or you will have to do some shit like this, so we can jump onto the enemies at the backside and try to take the space for our allies. Also, that smoke on the right side really doesn't make any sense. Like, you already have a smoke for the CT. You can wait for your smoke to disappear and then jump spot the enemies. And then you can use a second smoke to scale up and take the space for your teammates. Good. Behind us, okay.
Main.
Listen, so in ranked solo queue, there is one rule that you follow on the attacker's side. Like, if enemies never showcase to you that they like to do some specific play, you should not be conditioning yourself and your teammates to play around that information that you don't have. So for an example, like, if you don't get, you know, if you have no info, if enemies like to go for the flanks and lurks, you cannot default on the map waiting for enemies to push something. You cannot invest yourself to hold the flank, to hold the backstab, if you don't know if enemies are gonna do that. Like, you're doing that as you're taking the space, essentially, with your allies. But if enemies showcase to you, from the first round, or second round, third round, fourth round, that they like doing these type of plays that Yoru did, then we need to be more aware of this shit. And we maybe need to invest some of our allies to hold these type of plays.
Flank.
I'm holding. Peek off.
Now your Sage went full maniac mode. There's nothing better that we could have done there. Okay, good round overall. Could have been better. Now listen, like, simply, on Sunset, you don't need to gamble at all, you don't need to risk anything, like, especially against this team composition. We can just do a farm and push on A again. And the only thing that we need to ask for is we need to ask our Sova to use a dart and drone for the elbow so that we don't get fucked by close range weapons. And that's it. In these anti-eco rounds on Sunset, the worst mistake you can make is doing some kind of a split through mid or contesting the enemies on mid. Especially in team compositions where you don't have a sentinel to cover the flanks and lurks. You just don't know if your teammates are going to be aware of certain timings that enemies can be behind you, that enemies can be shooting at you from different angles, different positions, and it is absolutely stupid. On any map, split us, and any map with a mid-area of the map, if enemies are equal on a defender's side, fireman push A or a fireman push B, don't risk it in ranked solo queue. There's no reason to complicate the rounds. These type of rounds.
I'm gonna dart mid in case they walk out.
Listen, another advice. On any map with a mid area of the map, if you have 2 or more teammates going through mid, you should mainly play with your teammates on mid, especially if you don't know how your teammates are gonna play in the mid area of the map, and if you don't know, like, you know, how enemies are gonna play in that mid area of the map. Like, in mid areas of the map, like, your teammates usually have 20 to 30% higher chances of dying and making some kind of a misplay compared to the A main and B main. What you're doing right now should be the job of maybe your Yoru, maybe Omen, maybe like Sage, whatever. It doesn't matter. But you should be playing with your teammates in the mid area of the map. And on the attacker side of Sunset, sure, you can go for Stinger, you can go for the Spectre, you can go for the Bulldog. It's really up to you. I would still go for the Stinger because the weapon is as good as it was for anti-eco and bonus rounds.
I'm gonna dart mid in case they walk out.
Bitcoin, no, not the big Bitcoin, like Ethereum and some other minor currencies.
Jump close.
This, you know, how we play right now, this anti-eco round is mega dangerous for ranked solo queue. Like, this can go wrong and bad in a matter of milliseconds. Like, right now, KO, Yoru, someone can pop flash us here. Sova is on the drone, you get flashed, we're done. It's only 2 of us here. Your teammates on mid can also get some kind of a pop flash. They can get destroyed by the sheriffs, by the shorties, whatever. Like, you have a Sova in the team. We have a recon agent in a team. We have 3 dive agents. Yoru, Jett, and Omen. There's absolutely no reason to do this early on in a match. A bit scary how you push this area of the map and how you clear this boxy box right here. Basically, when you're clearing this boxy box, let's say you didn't have a Sova. So, yes, through the B main area of the map, you always want to scale up like this. We can jump spot the enemies here to get the info, clear this angle, these off angles, done. Lock yourself onto this box. We can jump spot the enemies here, check this line of sight, and then just do a small jiggle pick like this. And now, you reset yourself and go for an execute. Now, when you're executing B site, in these anti-eco rounds, your only job and primary focus should just be taking this space for your teammates. And in the full buy rounds as well. Like, as long as the numbers are equal, or you have some kind of an advantage, your job is just to take this initial space right here. And from that position, you're engaging the enemies together with your allies. You don't want to overextend here, or here alone, Because you don't know if Charlatan is waiting there for you with a classic and shorty strategy, with a Bucky, with a Stinger. Maybe one enemy with a classic pistol triple shot is gonna get you out of the server. And you just don't want to risk that in these anti-eco rounds. Like, and also, you know, the execute was absolutely terrible. Like, basically, I mean, I know you panicked and probably there's nothing better you could have done. I mean, you could have dashed backwards with a smoke, I don't know, like, but... Anyways, you should not be here at this moment of time. If you already wanted to dash somewhere and to escape these deadlock trips, just do this. Cover yourself up with a smoke. Wait for your Sova to reset himself. Check this angle. You know, your teammates are coming through the market. And now together we can just play a proper refray game like a normal human beings. That was mega lucky. Very good that you're disciplined enough to not overextend into the fucking CT when you're playing an anti-eco round. Like, your job in this round is not only to win it, but we want to win it with the least amount of casualties possible. This is not Counter-Strike, where we are hunting for the kills so we can build a strong economy. Every kill with every weapon is, you get the same money, it literally doesn't matter. So, your job is to save this weapon for the next bonus round so you have the highest chances of winning that bonus round for your teammates. Now, if you already want to do something here, the best idea would be to go into the market and play with your most aggressive teammates that have the highest chances of dying. Plus, you know, your Sage healing you would be a good idea. Would be a good option.
Both mid, both mid, both mid, both mid.
Nope.
3, 2, 1.
Both mid, both mid.
Okay. Fine. Now, one problem that we created in these first two rounds is the AB pattern of pushing, and, you know, enemies might start predicting what the fuck we're gonna do. But, okay. Now, in this bonus round, once again, sending it through mid, maybe not the best idea ever. Like, winning these bonus rounds is always the easiest if you do some kind of a 5-man execute, because there's not gonna be, like, 5 enemies playing A side. There's not gonna be 5 enemies playing B side. You have 3 dive agents with 3 flashes and a recon character. Like, doing a 5-man execute with Spectre, Stingers, and shit like that should be easy for you. And closing the gap with the enemies and just annihilating them in these close-range gunfights. That knife you can destroy. That is not a lineup, that is my knife. It's a shit knife, and turn around, kill it, that's it. Generally speaking, when it comes to every ability in the game that you can destroy, all the way up to high elo lobbies, even in high elo lobbies, to be honest, you should be the one destroying this ability, this utility, because you just don't know if your teammates are gonna do that ever.
Mid door's not closed.
Anyways, once again, much better idea would have been if you played with your teammates in mid area of the map, because they are, especially in this bonus round, they have really high chances to die.
They walled it.
Ooh, that was a Yoru TP.
I think you left A.
Generally speaking, like, playing these defaults in bonus rounds is not gonna be productive in medium elo and low elo lobbies. Like, you're just allowing your teammates to make way too many mistakes, to pick some solo fights that only God knows how they're gonna go. So it's better if you can organize them to do something together. Some kind of a fake, some kind of a split, some kind of a push, something. But if you get lucky with the timing like this, okay. Now, what do we do in these type of situations? Like, whenever you create numbers advantage, and you have enormous amount of time to plant the spike, and your teammates are scattered on the map, try to reset the round towards one specific objective, if that is possible. At least give that comm to your teammates. You know, tell them what to do. Like right now, we can just reset the round towards the A main. We can reset the round towards the B main. It doesn't matter. As long as we group up together and do something together, we can easily win this round. Also, we can do a 1-4 push onto the B side through market, since enemies on the B side have a deadlock with a full setup. But doing this, you know, taking another solo fight with a Spectre, not the best idea ever. Like here, if you want to peek this angle, you need to jump spot the enemies first. Why? Very simple. They heard your footsteps. They are expecting you. You're gonna meet your maker very, very soon if enemies are holding you with a Vandal or Phantom. We needed to expect that one enemy can be there. I mean, in what world is Reyna defending the A set alone? I mean, okay, so you only met one enemy here. You killed that enemy. Like, you need to ask yourself what type of setup enemies potentially played in this round. Like, probably once they heard that your teammates are going mid, you know what most teams do? They play at least 1 or 2 players market, or 1 or 2 players top mid, 1 player maximum on the B side, and 1 player on the A side. When you kill this guy, the only option you had is to either reset the round, or because it's a bonus round, eco round, hull by round, like, you can maybe scale up a bit further and take more space for your teammates. But going back slow here, expecting that none of these enemies on top mid are gonna rotate towards the A short, that's a huge gamble that we cannot afford. Anyways, like, if you already make a sound, you make footsteps, and enemies know that you're gonna peek some angle. Don't just swing it. You know, jump spot the enemies, get the info, that's it. Ask for the utility, ask for the flash, ask for the recon ability, or wait for your teammates to come. Not in a sexual way. And then we can just swing together and take that fight together. Okay, I mean, in this match, the first 3 rounds went really, really good for us. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you got enormous amount of info how enemies like to play. So basically, KO is usually the A player playing around A short. Reyna is the A player as well. Deadlock is definitely anchoring the B site, and Clove is probably the top mid or market. Like, she's doing the smokes for the A and B. And Yoru, we heard him having some kind of a TP, fast rotation setup towards the A site. Plenty of information to play the future rounds. Okay, so with that info, what can we do in this next round? We can simply fake something. You know? Like, we know that Yoru has a fast TP towards the A site. So, let's fake A and go B, for an example. Like, tell your Sova, tell your Yoru to fake the A site, while you, Omen, and Sage are slowly taking the B main space and getting ready to annihilate the deadlock on the B side. Now, the deadlock wall is very easy to destroy. Both deadlock and Sage walls. Even if she has a wall there, like, you can destroy it with, like, I don't know, basically 1.5 clip, of Vandal or Phantom.
I don't know how that knife goes here.
Once again, like, if you have teammates starting top mid or tiles, start with them. Like, because you never know, like, when enemies are gonna start playing aggressively and what the fuck they're gonna do in this area of the map. If you already have Omen that is doing this, just start with him. You don't want enemy Reyna to maybe go for this type of a play, kill your Omen, and scoot back. Because right now you're just wasting your time. I mean, we could have dodged this knife from the tiles as well.
Good red.
Speed up, speed up.
Yeah, get
More.
Okay. Now listen, when you're playing against these type of team compositions that have a lot of pop flash characters, you should be expecting these type of pushes and these type of peaks always. And once again, you should be clearing all of these angles like enemies can be there and will be there. Or simply jump spot them at the end of the day, if you already make the noise and footsteps. But okay, I mean, like, from your side, it's fine. Maybe, you know, one thing that you're kind of disrespecting or not thinking about this whole match is that you have a Sage in your team, on both attackers and defenders side. Reset yourself, ask for the heal, tuck yourself in the corner, get healed, get in another fight, like. Yeah. Now, another thing that you could have noticed from like, these first few rounds, that you need to keep the track of in ranked solo queue when you're playing in low elo and medium elo lobbies, is how fast the enemies are rotating. These enemies are rotating mega fast. Like, they do have one player always playing an anchor. Like, we noticed that Deadlock was anchoring B side, we noticed that Reina was anchoring the A side. But, you know, even if there's one player, fuck it. You know, when you're doing the fakes, you should usually do some kind of a 3-2 fake. 2 players are faking, 3 players are doing a push onto the opposite part of the map. And with the Yoru, I mean, it's never 3-2, it's always, it should be 4-1.
No, we don't have spike. Chill out.
Sage coming.
Once again, I would personally play with my teammates in mid.
He's on mid.
The lock on B.
Unintentionally, this was a bit of a fake, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I really don't know what was the plan or what were the comms. But unintentionally, like you making footsteps in B main, Sova droning, like, and Sage keeping her location a secret and holding A main. Let me just see, was this a plan? First plan ever? Yo, Reverser, how are you doing? I'm very good, very good. Well, I guess it was unintentional.
Okay. I take the.
Yeah, absolutely unintentional. But you see, this is exactly what, you know, I would have done, just vice versa.
No, we don't have spike. Chill out.
Sage coming.
I don't know how to get this.
TP'd out.
One here.
You got it, they wall.
Come back.
Even though Yoru teleported away, like, we need to expect that maybe even 2 enemies right now are on A site. The reason for that is, like, KO was always playing A site. Enemy Claw was always either market or top mid. There can already be 2 players on A. So now, once again, same as in the previous round, where we made a numbers advantage, slow down. Reset the round. Like, I don't know why you're feeling pressured right now to take some space, to take some fights. Like, we don't really know where did Yoru teleport. We don't know how many enemies are on the A set as well. Like, just regroup B main, regroup A main, send it. Plus, you have a really good team composition to do that. Like, you know, we have 3 dive agents, 3 flashes, Sova as a recon character, and of course, we have Yoru's ultimate as well.
I can hold it to A, guys.
Market.
Please, when you're clearing angles in Valorant, just clear them always a bit deeper, because angles in Valorant, like, I don't know, in CS2 for an example, like, angles are not that deep as in Valorant, and the perception is just fucked up in Valorant, to be honest. Like in Valorant, you do this, angle is not cleared. Like you really need to, when you're clearing angles in Valorant, like you just want to clear them as deep as possible until you see the actual crack, non-sexual crack, and then you can turn on to clearing the other angles.
They're going spawn. And do a late lurk.
You have university from 8 AM to 6 PM, brother. I remember those times. I remember those times as well. Didn't like them at all. Good smoke. I mean, it could have been better, but I love that you're thinking about it. Holy shit. Bro, the range of placing the sage wall now is ginormous.
CT2. I think all of them actually.
Nice! Good shit.
Good shit.
If someone lurks A, this chaos
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
try to grab his
You went to university,
Outside the open.
Just dodge this. Top. Save.
Listen, like, okay, first of all, I don't know why you're putting so many bullets into that box with a Sova drone. Like, Sova can just turn, like, tell the Sova to clear that box with a drone. Like, what is the problem? Now, when it comes to this shit, it doesn't matter. But if you already have a pre-assumption that enemy deadlock might be in that corner with a shorty, why are you swinging together with your Sova in a way where that deadlock can just delete you, both of you guys? Hooked with a dash ability, scatter away, kill the deadlock, get done with it. Now, you decided to hunt the deadlock. But even though we know the deadlock usually played alone on the B side, I mean, we need to scale up properly, and you know, we cannot be overexposed from all of these angles as we're, you know, focusing in the market and on the deadlock. Like, do a smoke, but you know, insta smoke here. Now check these positions, scale up. That's it, and activate your dash ability, of course.
Play numbers, play numbers, play numbers.
KO
Reyna
plays on
CT,
it.
Reyna CT.
Back up somewhere.
We play with the Sova, very good. Very good, very nice. Very good, very nice. Very good, very nice. Good shit indeed.
You just threw a flash for me.
I just think that these 2-3 splits would be much easier if you actually played with your teammates on mid area of the map, because your teammates in mid are kind of struggling with, which will usually happen during this type of splits. They're not dying, but they're not actually doing
Not gonna commit B. Just fake it.
any damage in the
Cross B
market.
market.
Close.
Okay, now we know that probably Deadlock and Reyna are on the B side.
Two.
Very good dash ability. I mean, very good escape from the fight.
B2, go in, go in, go in.
One market.
I'm gonna watch for the push-up.
But here you should just send it, to be honest. Like, you should just be coming to your Omen and Sova, hey guys, let's regroup fast A and let's just go A. Because once again, in the worst case scenario, there are 2 players on the A set and 2 players on the B set. In these type of situations, it doesn't even matter. You can go 5 and A, 5 and B, it really doesn't matter. But you need to be fast before the enemies start realizing what we're doing.
This one close on A.
A bit unnecessary. There is a thing called jump spot mechanic in this game, so I don't know why would you updrift here.
Random market.
I think Reyna's one.
It's only
Reyna's marker. Just go away. Speed up A.
It's only one A.
We don't know if, like, when you're playing against the Yoru, like, don't be so sure in your callouts because we really don't know where's the Yoru.
Only one A. Let Clove die. Let Clove die. Let Clove die. Nice.
You guys come back, you beat.
I don't know why you did that smoke. A bit of a waste, plus you allowed the deadlock to get out of that corner.
Go B, go B, go B.
One's going
Go
top
B,
mid.
go B.
One's going top mid. Come to your spawn.
Always place your crosser based on where... Always place your crosser on the most probable angle from which enemies can kill you at that moment of time. That rule you should use no matter what you're doing during your gameplay in Valorant. Like, right now, your crosshair should be at your anal cavity. And omens as well. We don't know if enemies pushed mid. We don't know if enemies can beat tiles. We really don't have no information at all. Except that deadlock is on the A side and maybe Yoru teleport over C as well.
Stay alive.
30 seconds left.
I think you saw 3.
Ay.
I'll put a few silver. Door close.
This setup that they're doing right now is probably the best setup that you can have, like, when you're playing with your teammates in market. Like, your teammate in the market can play around the phone booth, and on the right side, you play around this position here. And you're able to play a trading game left and right. Especially if you also have one teammate in the CT, which Omen should do, like, Omen should take a CT. Like, this postman setup with a player here, and player here. It doesn't get better than that if you already know that none of the enemies are behind you.
No.
I mean, Sage can just hold the flank at the end of the day.
Block. Guru. Reyna.
One.
Reyna mark.
Okay, listen, like, whenever you end up in this position, stuck in this corner, but you have teammates that are here, just play a double tower. There's absolutely no reason to just take solo fights. Tell the Sage, play above me, and just hold this. Swinging, not the best idea ever. Basically, at the start of this VOD review, what you asked me is that every single time you die during a round, you lost that round. This is exactly the problem. Like, you don't need to be the first contact here. You had plenty of time to get at the backside, to get deeper into this corner, maybe bait out the Sage and tell her to peek first. You don't need to be the first contact in this type of fights. Like, especially in a 3v3 in ranked solo queue, when you're playing in low elo lobbies and medium elo lobbies. You want to play on the contact of your teammates mostly, because you never know if they will go for a refrag and if they will fight with you.
Reyna mark.
We still.
They always push out A. Like, if you just hold it, they're gonna push your push.
In this round, using the ultimate, very bad idea. Like, yes, like with the Jett, the rule that you follow is that as soon as you build up your ultimate, you want to use it as an economy saver tool and try to build up a second ultimate as soon as possible. But against the KO that is one ultimate point away from the ultimate, or KO that has the ultimate, better that you get a, you know, Vandal Phantom, some weapon in the hands.
Alright.
This, a bit risky. Oh, actually, you have a Vandal. Never mind. My bad. Sorry. This shit here, not worth it at all. When you're going for a solo peek in the B main area of the map. This shit is only worth it if you're doing a double peek with your teammates. And you want to go, you know, your teammates peeks from the lower ground, you peek from the higher ground, then we take a fight here. Otherwise, just a suicide without the dash ability.
He has an op.
You should have been dead.
I need a heal.
Same as updrafting, you know. On this position here. Like, why would you do that? Literally no reason. Enemies can hear it. But if your teammate is doing this, then yeah, you know, we can go for a double peek on this angle as our allies are doing that.
Your bot not.
Now, you didn't really make these mistakes on attacker's side, and we talked about this so many times during our VOD reviews and sessions and everything, but always minimize the amount of time that you spend in the smokes in the choke points.
Bot not.
Like, you should get behind or inside of this type of a smoke only when you're ready to go out. Dash ability is ready, you're ready to fight, and you're ready to peek with your teammates. Or if you already have your teammates in front of you. The more time you spend in these type of smokes, or behind these type of smokes, chances are much higher you will just meet your maker. And of course, fighting here, sure, we have a Yoru pop flash, Yoru is swinging out. We know that at least two enemies are mid. Okay.
They both
No objections. Now in this 4v2, same as in any other round where you have numbers advantage, try to reset the round towards the main area of the map. Either A main or B main. Like, this is probably the main reason why in low elo and medium elo, you lose a lot of the rounds that you should not lose on the attacker side when you have an advantage. Like, usually what people do, especially people that don't like to speak in ranked solo queue, they just let their teammates do whatever the fuck they want. You know? Yes, certain group of your teammates is probably gonna go with the spike somewhere, and you're gonna follow them up. Like, maybe Sage is gonna carry the spike towards the aim and area of the map. You're gonna follow the Sage, you know? And your Omen is maybe gonna follow you as well. But maybe your Sova is gonna have a different idea and try to do something solo. Maybe Omen as well. Omen is gonna have some fucked up idea, try to do something solo, and we are 4 versus 2. Now, the danger of this type of a play is not only that, you know, some of your teammates are isolating potential solo fights that they can lose. But the danger is also like, a lot of timings can happen where enemies can backstab you, fuck you up, your teammates can miss each other, you're gonna have a fake info sometimes. Based on your teammates and enemies positioning. Now, another problem is, that can develop in this type of rounds, is your teammates decide to do a fast push through an off-road, alternative area of the map. Like, you know, we killed 3 enemies on mid, and let's do a 3 or 4 man push through the mid. It's also stupid. Because you don't know if your teammates are gonna clear every single angle properly. There is enormous amount of crossfire positions that we need to clear. Enemies can also be deep in the main areas of the map. You don't know if your teammates are gonna expect it at all. The reason why you should always reset these rounds where you have a huge any advantage, or if it is like 3v3 or 2v2 towards the main areas of the map, is because enemies are in a disadvantage, number one. Like, there's no way that these 2 enemies are gonna play together on A site or B site. There is no way that in a 3v3 scenario 3 enemies are gonna play B or 3 enemies are gonna play A. That will never happen. Second problem that we are fixing when you reset the round is you clear every angle that you're approaching one at a time, and there's not a single situation where you can end up in some kind of a fight, or your teammates can end up in some kind of a fight where you guys cannot trade each other's out. We clear the angles here properly, clear this properly. We're going out as a standard 4-man, 5-man execute, you know, like Omen can do the smoke here, paranoia. That's it. And if one enemy is on the B side, that guy will probably just die. We're just gonna kill him, get him out of the server, and that's it. Even if 2 enemies are on the B side, it doesn't matter. They cannot surprise us. We are expecting them to be there.
Mid.
I don't know.
Very good, very good. Once again. Oh, one moment. Someone is at the doors. Okay.
Care site, clear everything.
Communicate in these type of situations with your teammates. Tell them to just push together. Tell them to play together as 5. Like here, even if one enemy is potentially behind us, we don't care about him. We should play, you know, frontal fights essentially, and worry about that guy later. Let's just send it, you know, like, onto the A side, clear every angle together, play a proper refray game, plant the spike, and we can worry about the Yoru, you know, some other time.
On site. Yeah, sure. Only a sheriff. Fight him. Good.
One enemy
Let's
Could be
see.
flanking.
I don't know what your Sova actually heard here, like the guy is...
Alright, we don't have stage res, but we have Myra.
Good job. Good job. Good job. Good
Okay,
job.
okay.
Hey,
So good in that top mid smoke. Pushing on mid. Pushing on mid. 2 mid. 2 mid.
YouTube, can I live, please? Okay. Brother, someone's at the door. Would you recommend university to yourself in the past? Yeah. But the only reason is like I mean, it really depends to what type of university you go, and depends, you know, what type of person you are. But the only like thing that school taught me are the social skills. Like, and if I never went to any school or college or high school or something, I would be like such a bad introvert, man, and such a poor guy.
So good in that top mid smoke. Pushing on mid. Pushing on mid. 2 mid. 2 mid. Usually plays market. Okay, it's CC.
In the corner, in the corner.
Once again, smoke's absolutely wasted. You can just dash into this corner and you're pretty safe on the B side.
Deadlock CT.
Watch my CT.
Nice.
I mean, in this type of a situation, like, you should have definitely followed up your Yoru. Like, when the Yoru unalted and he already took the full control of the market, I mean, that was the moment of time for us to just play with our Yoru and play a refray game, obviously. You can clear this smoke, you know, for the market by picking up the short T, jumping into the smoke with a short T, picking up the gun again and just, you know, playing a proper refre game with this guy.
The resin.
All three.
I'm not swinging.
Relax, relax. Let your teammates get the first contact. We have a 4v2 numbers advantage. If you die first, nothing matters. Don't spam, don't do some random shit, don't like throw some random abilities. Wait to see what your teammates are gonna do. Let them take the initial contact. Be ready to fight together with them.
In the smoke, out! On bomb.
What a fucking mistake, bro. This is very common, like, this type of decision making is something that you simply engrave in your gameplay. Listen, like there's, as I said, like in one of my videos, around 2,000 different scenarios that you need to understand how to properly play in Valorant. Now, a lot of these scenarios will happen once in a blue moon. And there's like a 90% of scenarios that will repeat in your gameplay loop 24/7. I mean, whenever you end up 2v1, no matter what is the situation, no matter what agent you're playing, which guns you have. Okay, maybe guns matter a bit, like depending if you have a close range weapon or a long range weapon, but still, my point stands. In this type of situation, whatever this Yoru does is what you do as well. Like, you want to be able to fight this Reyna on every single angle on which Yoru takes a fight. Even if it is just face forward. Like here, Reyna tapped the spike.
Bomb.
She went away from she's not defusing the spike anymore. Instead of dashing towards the Reyna, dash right side, scale up with your Yoru, let the Yoru be the first contact, if he already wants to be aggressive. I mean, you don't mind, obviously. He takes a fight, you're ready to take that fight together with him, killing the Reyna, saving the life of your Yoru, securing the round. Done. Like, you should simplify these type of situations, like sequences in the game, always. No reason to play any crossfire, no reason to flank lurk, anything. You will always have like 20 to 30% higher chances of winning this type of a round by just following what your teammate is doing, rather than trying to outplay this enemy. Because that's what a lot of players are doing in Valorant. Like, they end up 2v1. They're mainly focused on how should I kill this Reyna? You know? How should I engage this guy? I don't care about that. And you shouldn't either. Like, you should only care about, like, what the fuck is my Yoru doing right now? And what should I do about that?
Player standing.
Spinner for you.
Very, very risky. They're so happy.
They could hop. Just
Ready, pushing out.
As I said, this is just a waste of time that you're doing right now. Like, listen, when should you be the one that is playing default and covering these potential peaks, lurks, and flanks through the main area of the map? Only when you're 90% certain that enemies will do that, and that there's a chance for that to happen. Enemies pushed A main in one round, and the round where we faked the B side push. Enemies also never pushed the B side ever in their life, because Deadlock is playing passively. But we know for a fact that enemies do like to fight on mid. We know for a fact that our teammates will take the fights on mid. So you're just wasting your time. You're wasting your time right now. Maybe you're not. Maybe someone is gonna pick this. Like, I don't know. But the play that you're doing is a 50-50 play. But the play that we should do is a 100% playing with your teammates on mid. Let your Sage with a spike hold this shit, like, you know, because you might just be wasting your time while your teammates are dying in mid.
One, digital shot.
Going with you, Jett.
A lot of players think taking a different angle from your teammate helps in the 2 versus 1. Statistically, you will lose more 2v1s like that than you're gonna win. Of course, it depends a bit on you know, on where you are at that moment of time, what type of timing you have, on if the enemy is stuck somewhere as well. But still, the best advice that you can follow in Valorant ranked solo queue, when you have numbers advantage, is you want to be able to take every single fight that your teammates are going to take at that moment of time. On every single angle.
I heard nothing so far.
Okay,
Like right now, you should be there with a Sage, you know, killing this Reyna, making numbers advantage, turning this round in a 5v4. But also, one thing that I don't like in this VOD is that you're not even concerned about the enemy's economy. And you're not organizing your team based on the enemy's economy. The enemies are eco halberd on the defender side of Sunset. Farm and push A, farm and push B, like they have only Deadlock as a sentinel. Like it really doesn't matter. And you have a really good team composition for executes. I mean, Yoru, Jett, and Omen. What else do you need? With a Sova.
you're right, I got you.
Maybe a stun, you know, maybe a breach.
Bomb, so it's fine.
That's why I told you should clear this type of an angle deeper previously. Like, I kind of just feel that some of these angles, you're clearing not for the sake of, you know, not for the purpose of actually expecting the enemies there. You're just clearing them for the sake of, you know, placing your crosshair here and that's it. Like, if I clear this angle, especially in an anti-eco round, I mean, we know that enemies are eco. 90% of the players in medium elo, when they're playing an eco round, someone is going to play here with a Bucky, Judge, Shotgun, or on an angle like this. And we need to approach these positions either together with our teammates, use some utility, or just be, you know, ready for a fight. Like, clear them a bit slower. And mentally expect the enemies.
There's one close on me. This one here. Tile.
Here, for example, like, you don't need to fight anyone. You should just play with your Omen. Omen can pick up the spike with the ultimate, and we can plant the spike. But, you know, the problem is our Sova. I don't know why Sova is lurking through the B side right now. This fight is a horrible fight that you're picking right now. You're only 10 HP, you have 0 advantage. Yes, you have a dash ability, but Reyna can just spit on you, and you're dead. And enemies should be expecting you right now. How the fuck Omen didn't pick up the spike, man? He missed it, bro. Never mind. Oh, look at the minimap. He misplaced his crosshair on the spike. I got a headache literally right now. Never mind. Now you can take a fight.
Wait, what? It's 3 on bomb.
It doesn't matter how many players are on the bomb. Like, if the spike is not literally in the corner, you can always pick it up if you place your crosshair exactly in this circle right here. The Valorant even gave you a circle on the minimap, on the spike, on which you need to, you know, aim.
KO.
Yeah, you see it, wait.
Bottom mid.
I'm darn.
They're both there, both there.
We actually might win this.
Have Omen blind when you're ready. Have Omen blind.
We need to destroy this wall.
Smoke right?
You can
Both go,
B.
Scale up.
both go for bombs. Both go for bombs.
Break door, break door.
I got it, got it.
Pop mid!
You go.
So we'll all for both plan.
We need to tell Omen to clear B main, and we need to plan backside. No, we cannot plan there!
Main.
Spike down B.
Okay. Lesson learned. Lesson learned. So basically, you know, if you're pushing a specific site through an alternative area of the map, like market, top mid, short, any shit like that, and you have zero information where the remaining enemies are, you need to expect them to be in the main area of the map always. And you should be clearing that main area of the map and holding it for your teammates. Now, in this case scenario, like, you know, you with 10 HP, you should be planting the spike, to be honest. And we don't have that time, you know, you don't have the time to clear the main area of the map. But you should have told your Sova and Omen that enemies are in the main. Anyways, this is another ghost com that is actually good in ranked solo queue. Like, for example, right now, there's absolutely no chance that one enemy is in the spawn. Or top mid. Enemies can either be B main or market. So giving the info to your teammates that an enemy is in the B main, even if the enemies are not there, nothing is gonna happen. Literally nothing. They're just gonna clear it, and they can just play also the post one from the B main as well. But you just don't know in ranked solo queue if your teammates are gonna be aware of all of these chances that, you know, where the enemies can be at that moment of time. I don't know why your Sova is just jumping around like a maniac, like no one can be here. And Omen, I mean, he was kinda ready for it, but still not really. You know, they just needed to send it. They needed to clear it way too deep. I mean, all the way up there.
Main.
Both.
We planted a spike. Still Ezra. Yeah. Now listen, if you're peeking mid with the operator, always start from the tiles. Because you always have two options from where you can actually peek the enemies. When you're starting from the left side of top mid, right here, you only have one option. And that is basically doing this type of peek. Here, even if you get smoked or molotov or whatever, like flashed, I don't know, like you can still turn your focus onto the right side and do that shit. And anyways, like, whenever your teammates are starting in the mid area of the map, you should start from tiles, unless you noticed in like 1 or 2 rounds, like your teammates swing this, and they die from the enemies that are top mid. If that is happening, then you start top mid. But if that never happened, or you're just taking the mid control for the first time ever, start from the tiles always. Usually, this is gonna be the first contact between your team and the enemy team right here.
Go tagged.
Usually, not always. Oh, wait a moment. I have 2 coaching sessions, bro. Just a second. I forgot about that. Just a moment. We'll... Okay, that's dealt.
Deadlock B.
On backside B.
I talked about this. Like, even if there's a chance for the enemies to flank you right now, you should not be losing the timing to play with your allies, holding the flank like this. Like, what are we doing? You know? Like, why are we allowing for this guy to play alone? And it doesn't really matter that you're holding this. Your teammates already have the market control. They're scaling up B. Like, what are we doing right now? Like, whenever you're worried that enemies might be behind you, you know, that enemies might be flanking you, they might be doing some kind of a play like that, you just occasionally check your back. You know, check this. Okay, no one is there. Omen, scale up with me. Let's move into the market. Check the top mid. We clear this. We close the doors. That's it. We're moving forward and playing with our allies. Okay, doors are destroyed. No problem. As your teammates are scaling up, we can once again check the back briefly and then focus on the enemies in front. You should not be losing the spacing and timing to play with these guys.
Never saw anyone A.
Go away. Let's
Even this doesn't matter at all. Because right now, all of your teammates on B can die, and you can easily end up in a 3v2 situation. That was the problem. Like, just we kill all of the enemies on the B side, preserve the life of all of our allies, and who the fuck cares about this Yoru? Like, what's he gonna do? One teammate down.
go away. Go away. Go away.
2 on B.
No idea where KO is.
Probably A.
And we are also very scattered on the map. Like, 1-1-2.
Make sure to clear.
We need to check the elbow.
Elbow's not clear.
Watch my elbow, please. 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 Please.
Yeah, I'm holding.
Here, listen. Like, whenever you're playing a refray game with your allies, and basically you have the ultimate with the operator, you should use the ultimate here. Like, you really don't want to rely on one shot from the operator to take that kill. That's why on the retakes and post plants, it's usually better if you have some automatic weapon than operator. If you miss this shot, both of you guys are dead. And anyways, right now you have no idea where are the enemies. You cannot be scoped in here. One enemy can easily be A short right now, backside, or elbow.
Elbow.
Oh, we need to clear that elbow, come on.
Just going elbow right now. Elbow's clear.
Eh.
I got it. I got it.
I have an op. Holding right. KO lane.
Alright, 4v2, play number 2.
Holding CT. Or not CT. I'll hold CT.
This
I'm gonna extend. Who's gonna play my ult?
One enemy remaining.
big time.
This is what I'm talking about. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, what is this, bro? Like, why would you risk this round based only on one op shot? Also, when you have numbers advantage, you should prioritize ultimate instead of the operator. Postman retakes, it doesn't matter, like, middle of the rounds. Like here,
Remaining.
even if you don't kill this deadlock, like, you only put 2 daggers into her body. She's minus 100. And your Sova has, you know, needs to hit 2 body shots to win this round. Or to hit 1 shock dart to kill her. You have numbers advantage. You know, the only time when you should use operator in this type of a situation is if you're very low HP. Like you're 10 HP, 20, 30, 40, maybe 50. Okay. It makes sense, you know, playing with the op.
Big time. Good ult,
Good
Sova.
ult, good ult. Yo, that was...
I also need to say one thing. Buying the op on the attacker side in this match, I don't really get the idea. Like, it's not like the enemies play the same positions every round. It's not like we know exactly where to get a kill. Like, you want to get the op on the attacker side to counter something in the enemy team. Like, to punish enemies that are repetitive, that are playing same positions, doing the same plays, pushing the same angles. Here, I really didn't see an opportunity to use the op for anything.
Scary, Jett.
Bye.
For sure.
It's my dart. Oh my god. Expected.
They always.
What's the enemy economy? Let's go. 5 and push somewhere, right?
Try to.
What is your advice to get out of silver? You get my playbook on my Discord server, your minimum platinum.
They always push out.
In a month.
Can't flash me.
Once again, play with that Sage. You know, just peek from the tiles. These teammates will usually be the first contact. And the first teammates to die.
Shouting me. He's going through mid, top mid.
You definitely need to organize, like, your teammates a bit more on the attacker side and to play a bit better compared to what they are doing at that moment. Like, you're losing a lot of spacing with them, a lot of timings to fight with them. Like, you're allowing them to do random dumb shit every round. Like, you should listen. Your teammates are never gonna always listen to you. You know, I stopped IGLing in 2022 because I don't care about the game that much. I got Radiant 23 times, like, I don't, you know, whatever. But you never got Radiant, you're serious about this game, like, you should at least try, you know? The times when your teammates don't listen to you, just adapt to them and you know, that's it. But if they listen to you 50 or 60% of times, amazing, I guess, you know? At least we tried.
I'm playing left.
Nice paranoia.
Top mid one. There's a gap in the wall, right?
Whoever is the last guy going through market, that guy should close the market doors. If we didn't destroy the doors, and we didn't.
Kills
We're gonna.
mid.
Stairs.
Like, don't forget to close the fucking market.
Stairs.
Good?
120.
Relax. Chill. 40 seconds to plant the spike. Play with the Sage. You know, let's fight together. The worst thing you can do in this type of situation, when you ended up 2v2, is both of you guys take 1 versus 1 gunfights, or even worse, some of you guys takes a 1 versus 2 gunfight. Relax. You don't care about the spike at 40 seconds. You know, all you care about right now is using this Sage to win this round together. Especially because you know that KO is CT, and we don't know where is the Yoru. Yoru can be B main, he can be mid market. Let's just play together. Let's keep our location a secret. Let's make the enemies overthink this situation. And usually what's going to happen for you is vice versa. So enemies are going to be the ones that are going to pick solo fights, that are not going to play together.
120. You good?
Go back side.
Stairs.
April.
Right.
It turned out better than it should, to be honest.
I have no bullets.
30
Okay, the guy is CT. Market. Dash ability ready.
last player standing.
Listen. Like, when you're using your dash ability, this is the rule that you use on every bomb site, every angle, every position that you ever play. Like, when you're dashing away from the enemies, you should always dash away towards some safety. Like, where you can actually outplay the enemies, where you can outmaneuver them, where you can stay alive, where you're not going to be stuck like a potato. So if you already take this type of a fight, Yoru flashes you. You cannot get a kill. You have an option to dash left or right. Like, you don't need to be a smart guy to understand that this is bad. If you dash here, like, you have so many options. You can play a proper postman from the B main, jump spot this angle, waste the time from the Yoru, go for occasional jiggle picks. Plenty of options. You get stuck here. Round practically over. But a really good reaction on the dash ability. I'm not gonna lie. Very good reaction. And smoke as well. Okay. Now, the number one rule when it comes to overtimes in Valorant is that you never play them. If you can draw, always draw them out. It's never worth playing them. Number two rule is that you're just playing on the info that you gathered in the regular part of the match. So, what you're doing right now, good idea. Good idea, because enemies on the attacker side, they were more prone to attacking us on mid and B. Just the problem is, like, in some of the rounds, KO used a knife right here. I would have played, you should have played a bit safer right now. Try to see if the KO is going to use the knife. And then we can use the dash ability to kill the enemies in B main. Buying the op in overtime, sure, you can do it, no problem. As for the shorty, though.
Hey,
Fuck, again, you made a footstep.
Taos.
Okay, we focus on market.
Tiles have enough.
Talking about him.
Now we focus on B main.
They smoke top mid.
They left.
Now we rotate it.
108 KO, 40 Reyna, 34 deadlock.
Yep.
3 aiming. Flash mid.
Onside.
It was for me, by the way.
Never draw, that's a pussy mentality. Never draw, that's a gambler's mentality. Literally. So you're gonna play like 1 hour of Valorant, lose 20 rank, potentially have a 50-50 chance to lose 20 rank rating, and then not only that you wasted 1 hour of your life, you're minus 20, your account MMR is shit again, but also you need to win 2 games now in a row to be positive. No, don't play poker, man. Don't play poker.
Spike planted.
One elbow.
108 KO.
Listen, when you're going for these A-set retakes, always like do them from the CT if that is possible. Especially if you have the op, it's much easier for you to find an angle to kill the enemies in the elbow, at the backside, and to scale up. Like, generally speaking, only 20% of your retakes onto the A side should be done through the A short area of the map. Like right now, going through A short is okay because you're playing a 2-2 setup. You know, Sage and Sova are CT, you and Omen are A short. But when you're going through the A short, like, you need to have a one-way smoke for the A short area of the map. Like, you need to tell your Omen to give you this shit here. Or a Paranoia, or maybe you can use an improvised smoke there and do it. But once again, like, with the op going for the retake through A short is just crazy. I'd rather lose than go for a draw. That's a terrible mentality. Like, to be honest, this drawing system allowed me to get Radiant so many fucking times. Like, every match where I underperformed, like I remember one act I drawed like 11 matches. And in all 11 games, like, I was the one underperforming. I had a shit game, and if there was no draw option, like, I was 100% confident I'm gonna lose that match. 90% of people in Diamond and Plat are placed in Gold and Silver. Well, that's what usually happens when the act resets. The low elo players suffer the most. Ooh, very good.
Ouch.
Okay. Okay. Fuck it. I'm really sad that gambling in Valorant is so bad, man. Like basically, I cannot. Like, you can bet on the Valorant games, but Valorant is such an RNG game that, like, no matter how much I try to be smart about it, I just can. There's not a single game that I can predict how it's gonna go, who's gonna win, like, who's gonna have this amount of kills, that amount of kills. Like in CS2, I earn minimum 1,000 euros, like on every single tournament, because the game is far more consistent and you can actually tell when someone is gonna underperform, overperform, and stuff like that. I would really like if Valorant was a bit more like, you know, where you can actually build dynasties and have like an actual top 5 teams that are consistent and stuff like that.
I'm blinding close left.
Break this.
Watching here.
Then I would probably watch VCT even more. I mean, not even more, like more.
That was from mid, that was from mid.
One side right now.
Also, maybe for... Actually, it's okay. Like, you know, it's okay.
One side right now.
Yeah, in the box.
Once again, same as in the first round, this smoke is absolutely wasted. You already have a CT smoke. It's better if you drop some kind of a smoke like this, where you and your teammates can scale up onto the site and fuck up this Reyna in her anal cavity, you know, like doing this, then your teammates can do this, you can do this, like... What is she gonna do? And okay, I mean, like, this is the first time in this game where you actually got fucked by a pop flash ability, which is a miracle, to be honest. Like, considering what type of team comp enemies had, they could have annihilated you during this whole game. But we didn't lose this game in overtime, we lost it in the regular part, as per usual, and especially on the defender's side. Okay, that would be it when it comes to this VOD review. We covered everything when it comes to it, and when it comes to your gameplay on the Sunset. Now, we didn't check your tracker because there is quite literally nothing to check and nothing that I would advise you to do differently. You know? Like, once we came back to Valorant, like in Act 4, things are looking good. Things are looking bright. Like, you're still on a right path, on a good path. You're becoming so much better Jett player. Like, the only problem here is, like, you know, I already said in Act 4 when we did that VOD review, like, we did a coaching on Jett and Phoenix, I think. And my dude started playing Chamber and Omen when he came back. Crazy stuff. Then he started playing Jett again. Easy Ascendant 1 in the previous act. And your main goal for this act should be getting for the first time ever in Immortal 1 or Immortal 2. That should be your cap. As soon as you get Immortal 1 or Immortal 2, you can stop playing for the rest of this year because your MMR is going to be absolutely dog shit. You will be winning plus 14, plus 12 maybe, and losing minus 20, minus 25. Just try to hit Immortal 2. Once you do that, leave this account alone, focus on your alt account, and next act we grind for Immortal 3, 300, 400 rank rating. Overall, things are looking bright, looking good. Like, I wouldn't change anything in terms of your training, in terms of which agents you play. You're still mainly lacking situational awareness. You can still follow, you know, some of these specific rules a bit better, but overall, I think, you know, you should be able to reach Immortal 2 without any problems. This act, even if the MMR of your account is probably going to be a bit shit. And, as I said, like, next act, next year, Immortal 3, and we're getting Radiant. Okay, other than that, that will be it for this VOD review. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscribe, leave all that good stuff. Join this server for coaching and for the playbook, obviously. And I will see you in the next one.